So you saw my thumbnail, is this the end, right? And you were probably like, holy hell, Austin, are you talking about the end of crypto? Is it just done? Is it dead on arrival? And so no, that is not the end that I am talking about. I am really talking about, is this the end of this really pretty bearish situation that we've been in a while, that has seen crypto's market capitalization cut by half or more. We went from 2+ trillion down all the way. Oh man, I don't even really want to think about how low it went. Definitely sub 1 trillion, below 800 billion, etc. Is this the end? Is this the end of this bear? Are we looking at, hey, maybe we can start to get bounce back from up from here? Bitcoin, Ethereum starting to go back up and get back into this green candle day scenario, and overall put behind us the crypto winter, the bearish, whatever name you want to put on it. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So the short answer to the question, is this the end, is maybe. Okay. All of us that create content and follow this and look at everything, there's always that maybe situation. And nobody, quite frankly, can say, yes, this is the end. Yes, we have turned the corner and we're good to go. And Bitcoin is going to start heading towards 100,000, 200,000, and it's going to start. It's bust its all-time high in the next couple of days, etc. None of us can say that. All right. Ethereum, same kind of story. Because here's where we're at. There are so many macroeconomic conditions going on right here, right now. You've got inflation, you've got the Fed. What are they going to do? Not do about that. You've got the fear of recession coming. Are we in a recession? Technically, we are not, but in some parts of the world, we most likely are. You have Russia, Ukraine, you have China, supply chain issues, COVID. You have global discussion about crypto regulation, positive or negative. You have global media constantly throwing salt at crypto, that it's a scam. It just goes on and on and on. Okay, now with that said, I think we've got potentially a little bit more of downside risk. And here's what I mean by that. So we've got downside risk with Bitcoin possibly going to about $14,000. That could be, most likely that is the bottom, possibly. Okay. We have Ethereum's bottom, if you will, could be about $500 to $600. So decent, obviously. Ethereum 50% down move. Bitcoin, not completely 50%, but that really is kind of our low side risk, if you will. Okay. Now that's kind of the worst case scenario. Will we see that develop over the next 30, 45 days? That is very, very possible. Okay, we could be seeing that. But how I look at that, guys, is that is kind of worst case scenario. That's how I see it. So is that kind of is that the end? Are we at the end? That to me kind of is the end situation of this kind of bearish situation that we've been in. Okay, now beyond that, looking forward, the long-term view of Bitcoin, Ethereum looks hugely positive, okay? Because we are at these bottom level situations, and because the overall crypto market capitalization from 2+ trillion slashed in half to where we're at right now, we have a massive positive amount of upside potential here. Let me show you this. This is really a great article. Crypto's second richest billionaire believes the digital asset market has bottomed out. Here's why. Now, they're talking about a gentleman that I have come to truly fundamentally respect, and that is the FTX chief in the FTX brokerage. Chief Sam Bankman-Fried is weighing in on the state of crypto. Okay, I love what I see Sam doing. He is out there as a proponent of crypto. He's out there talking about it. He's constantly remarking on the State of the Union having to do with kind of the fallout that's happened with crypto and Celsius and Three Arrows and all this kind of stuff. He's basically said, I got $2 billion plus that I can go and help and bail out and acquisitions and all this kind of positive stuff. I love what I'm hearing from him. And this is a quote from him. He gave an interview to Real Vision, which was Raoul Powell. I always say his name wrong. And so this is his quote. He says, quote, "I don't see any particular reasons that we couldn't be at the bottom. And I'm not trying to say that we definitely are at the bottom." What I just said, right? I think the bottom could be 14,000 for Bitcoin, etc. He goes on to say, "But I think the unwinding that had to happen has happened. It's been an extremely messy last month, obviously." Okay. He goes on to talk about that it really wasn't a crypto specific situation related to, the total market capitalization of crypto right here being cut in half, right? He talks about that it really was a direct corollary result of those macroeconomic conditions that I mentioned earlier: inflation, fear of recession, global war, not global war, excuse me, global COVID stuff, Russia-Ukraine war, etc. Okay, so he goes on to talk about, I think you look at the drop down to 30,000, and Bitcoin is really just being economically driven by macro things that I just talked about, like those outside conditions, inflation, recession, etc. It's good stuff, okay? And I this is a guy who, frankly, I really respect, and I think he's got his finger on the pulse. And so to me, this is really what it comes down to. And again, this is my opinion, obviously. So let me know your thoughts. Drop in the comments below. That's what I've got for you. Is this the end? I think we're close to the end. I think we're close to the bottom. And Sam and I agreed. I talk to Sam every day. Of course, I'm just kidding. All right. Have a good one. Thanks for giving me a few minutes of your time. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, because I'll love to see you stick around, and drop a like if you would. See ya.